Yo guys, and as you can tell by the thumbnail and the title of this video, I'm back with another review, but obviously this time it is Raw. As you can see by the thumbnail, I've done thumbs up and a sideways thumbs up. No, a sideways thumb. I don't know. Because I felt there was a lot of decent moments, but there was also some good moments, so that's the reasoning for the thumbs up and the sideways thumb as well. I did give this Raw a high 4 out of 5 because I do feel it was better than last week's Raw, not by much. That's why it's still a 4, but instead of like a low 4, I've given it like a high 4 because there was some moments in this Raw where I felt that it deserved a high 4 due to one of the matches obviously going wrong and two of the competitors having to do the match on the fly when it wasn't supposed to be a one-on-one match, which we will talk about a bit more when we get onto that match. So for that reason, then I have given it a high 4, but there is obviously a lot more reasons to why I've given it a high 4, but one of the main reasons being is that because the fact that they were able to, you know, do the match a one-on-one instead of a triple threat on the fly just shows how good both of them are. But yeah, like I said, we'll get on to that match a bit more in the video, well, a bit later on in the video, sorry, when we spoke about the other bits that I want to talk about that happened on last night's Monday Night Raw. And it is the Raw before Saturday Night Main Event, so we kind of needed the two matches that are happening on the Raw side of things to have a good built-up storyline. As much as Saturday Night Main Event isn't a PLE, it's more of like a glorified house show that we actually get to watch live. Because we do get to watch it live, I kind of do class it in a way as a PLE. So we do need some obviously good storylines going into that show on Saturday. I think, yeah, because we have Jay and Logan for the Raw side. We have the tag team match between CM Punk and Sami Zayn versus Braun and Seth Rollins. And then we have, oh yeah, John Cena and R-Truth. And what's the other match that's happening? Oh, Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre inside the steel cage. I was like, there's some big match happening. I just couldn't think of it off the top of my head for a few seconds there. So we've got 2 matches for each side. I was really expecting to have 3 Raw matches and 2 SmackDown matches because normally we get 5 matches for Saturday Night Main Event unless we're getting another SmackDown match added. Like we could possibly get like LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu for the United States Championship. Just a one-on-one match, I guess, added on Friday Night SmackDown, which would be really annoying if we do get another match added on Friday Night SmackDown, because obviously I'm going to be doing my review before that, but I might have to wait it out and do the review on the day of Saturday Night Main Event, which I don't like doing because I don't like doing prediction videos on the day that the show is, because it kind of like doesn't get enough time to like for people to see it. So that's going to be really annoying if we do get a match announced. But I'll talk about the 4 matches that have already been announced, and if we get another match on SmackDown, we get another match on SmackDown announced, and I'll just have to, unfortunately this time around, leave that match out on my prediction video because I don't want to be filming it on the day that Saturday Night Main Event is, because I just feel like it, like I've said, don't get enough time for the video to be watched, and I just feel like it's just a little bit pointless. So yeah, I'm going to leave that. If we do get a match added, it's unfortunately going to be left out. But anyways, let's kick on with what happened on last night's SmackDown. We kicked off Raw with Logan and Gunther having an in-ring segment, and it was pretty much saying that Gunther was congratulating Logan on all of his accomplishments with his branding and how good he is as a owner of a company, and how good of a businessman he is. And then he also felt that Logan Paul was overly confident that he was going to beat Gunther if Logan Paul did become welterweight champion this Saturday at Saturday Night Main Event. And Saturday Night Main Event, sorry. And Gunther said to Logan, I find that disrespectful, that you feel that you're really confident that you're going to beat me, and that if Logan does win on June 9th, he's going to absolutely clean the floor with Logan Paul, because Gunther is just way better than him. And that's pretty much what it was. Like, there wasn't really much to take from that segment. But the reason why I'm talking about it is because obviously Logan Paul is facing Jey Uso at Saturday Night Main Event, and after the segment was finished with Gunther and Logan Paul, Jey Uso came out and super kicked Logan Paul from behind to kind of give us a little bit of their storyline heading into Saturday Night Main Event. Kind of wish we had a little bit more. Kind of wish we had like a promo battle between the both of them, and then maybe like a brawl or something, because as much as I am looking forward to Logan Paul versus Jey Uso, because I never thought in a million years we would be seeing that match in WWE, but at the same time it's kind of disappointing that we haven't had much of a storyline between the two of them, so it's not making me as excited as I would be if we got like a proper like story line between them both, because obviously Jay's more focused on like Braun and Seth and Sammy and Punk instead of Logan Paul, so it's kind of just putting this storyline like in the back and then focusing on this tag situation. So it's kind of annoying, but I guess it wasn't okay. It was okay, go home show rivalry for the both of them, I guess, in a way. It was okay. I think the last bit kind of adds to it a little bit, but that happened at the end of the show, but still, again, not much of like interaction between the both of them, but it is what it is. And then we got a backstage segment between Jey Uso and Paul Heyman, and pretty much Paul Heyman said that well, the main thing that I'm going to talk about is that Paul Heyman said that Jey Uso, Gunther and Logan Paul, whoever is world champion, are just going to be short-term champions, because the long-term goal is for Seth freaking Rollins to be the world heavyweight champion, and that Braun Breaker is not after his World Heavyweight Championship. Pretty much Seth Rollins is, and yeah, that he's the long-time champion. So that's pretty much what the segment was about between Jey Uso and Paul Heyman. But it was a really like good segment. There was obviously other stuff that happened in the segment with Paul Heyman telling Jey Uso facts, exactly like what Logan Paul done. But I wanted to talk about that part of the segment that happened, because that's the main point of the segment between him and Jey Uso. So that's why I wanted to speak about that. I am very interested in to seeing if Seth does become World Heavyweight Champion, or we get it like flipped on us and Sami Zayn actually becomes World Heavyweight Champion by joining Seth and Braun Breaker as a trio, and this whole time it's actually Sami Zayn that is the long-term plan, not Seth Rollins, but they're making it out to be Seth Rollins, which would be very, very interesting to see. But I really, really do see Sami Zayn turning heel, because we haven't had like a heel Sami Zayn in like so long, like a proper like heel Sami Zayn. I know he was kind of heel when he was part of the Bloodline with Roman and Jimmy and Jay and Solo, but he was more of like a comedic heel, so like everyone just like found him funny, so I don't really class that as like a heel. So I am really hoping that soon we get heel, like mega heels like Sami Zayn, because I think that would be quite interesting to see. But yeah, and then we got the first match of the night, which was AJ Styles and Penta, which is a crazy sentence to say that those people in Greenville, North Carolina, got to see Penta and AJ Styles as a tag team against JD McDonough and Finn Balor, who are both also incredible in the ring. Like, all four of them were absolutely incredible in the ring. So I knew before this match even started that we were in for an absolute classic tag team match between them, and that is exactly what we got. Absolutely fantastic. There is not one thing bad. There's not one thing bad to say. Sorry, about about this match, because it was just absolutely incredible from start to finish. Like, everybody from each tag team got to have a good showing. Like, AJ Styles got a good showing, Penta got a good showing, Finn Balor got a good showing, JD McDonough got a good showing, and yeah, so absolutely, like, double thumbs up for the first match of the night. But the only, like, slight negative I have is that they're still carrying on this rivalry between El Grande Americano / Chad Gable and Penta. Sorry, I do definitely see Penta and El Grande Americano having a one-on-one match at the AAA event in a couple of weeks' time in Los Angeles. I can definitely 100% see them doing that. So I think that's what they're planning on. So that's why El Grande Americano still is attacking Penta, because technically, if we're looking at it in a WWE storyline wise, Chad and El Grande Americano are different people. So Penta's rivalry with Chad Gable's done, but his rivalry with El Grande Americano is not done, even though they are the same person. But it is what it is. So that's the only negative I have to say about this match. But we actually were able to get a Finn Balor win and a Finn Balor pin. Like, Finn Balor was not a thing in this tag team because Finn Balor picked up the victory by pinning Penta, which we haven't had in a while, because normally when Finn Balor wins, it's normally his teammate picking up the win. So it was not, or like, we haven't had a win by Finn Balor in a tag team in a long time. So we actually got to see Finn Balor pin a wrestler for the 1, 2, 3, which was very cool to see. Because obviously, as much as, like, Finn Balor gets pinned a lot and he loses a lot, he's always had good matches in WWE. Like, there will be like the odd occasion where he's not had the greatest of matches, but every wrestler's had that. But as much as people like to moan that Finn Balor isn't getting enough credit and isn't getting enough, it feels like he's not getting appreciated enough. I do feel, even though he's loses a lot and he hasn't been a singles champion in a long time, he has been a multi-time tag team champion. Every Raw, he is on the show in some sort of way, whether that's an interview, a backstage segment, a singles match, or a tag team. Like, there's not been many Raw shows that he's missed. And every time he does have a match, he does have like a really, really, like, either top decent or even a good match at a PLE or at just on a Raw show, or even he's on multiple, like, house shows as well all the time. So as much as he does lose a lot, he is getting a very good showing when he actually is able to show off his talent. So is he really having a bad career? I wouldn't say he is. As much as people like to make out that he is, I personally don't believe that he is, because, like I've said, I feel like he gets a good showing on Raw. Even if he's not wrestling, he's on the show, and that's always a good thing. And sorry that the light keeps going, like, dark and then light, dark and then light. I don't have a clue what that's all about. I don't know if it's because the sun keeps going in and out. That sounds a bit mad. Pause. But yeah, I don't know why it keeps going, like, slightly, like, dark. What? I have no idea what is going on. I literally don't know. I don't know why is it doing it now still? No, kind of. That's really weird. I don't know why it's doing that. Anyway, that's really distracting me, because it's like, kind of low. It's going, like, I don't know what's happening. And then we got a backstage segment between Logan Paul and Seth Rollins pretty much said to Logan Paul that Jey Uso is easy pickings for him at Saturday Night Main Event because Bron Breakker is going to absolutely destroy him tonight, and there's a possibility of Jey even walking out on a stretcher. So it's an easy win for Logan on Saturday Night's Main Event to beat. Let me see if I can come closer and it'll stop doing it. I don't know why it keeps doing that. It's really annoying. And it's going to be an easy win for Logan Paul, and Logan Paul is going to be the new World Heavyweight Champion, and him and Seth can run it back from a couple of years ago, because obviously Logan Paul faced Seth Rollins at WrestleMania 39 in Hollywood. So that's pretty much what the segment was about. That Jey's going to be absolutely destroyed against Bron Breakker, possibly walking out in a stretcher. He's going to be easy pickings for Logan Paul, and Logan Paul will easily be able to become the World Heavyweight Champion. Do you guys believe that Logan Paul's winning this Saturday? I don't, but we're not going to get too much into that match because obviously I am doing a prediction video, so we're not going to get too much into that, but I definitely don't believe that Logan Paul is walking out a Saturday Night Main Event. But yeah, anyways, we had the first qualifying match of the night between Becky Lynch, Natalya, and the new signee of the Raw division, and that is Roxanne Perez. This was a triple threat. I felt like it kind of was a bit slow and a bit sloppy and just a bit meh at times. It picked in some aspects of the match. It like picked up, but like quite majority of it was a bit of a kind of want this match to end. I just don't think those three work as a triple threat. But this is the only thing that I'll say is that qualifying matches, we get the most random matches. Like, we don't get matches where there's storyline happening within the triple threat. It's very rare because the qualifying matches are just three random women and three random men that have nothing to do with one another being a part of a triple threat to win, obviously, to qualify for Money in the Bank. So the matches we get are very random, and the chemistry isn't really there because they've not got a storyline with one another. So it kind of makes the matches not as great. But it was decent, but I don't feel like it was very good. It wasn't a good triple threat match. It was decent. Like, the triple threats on SmackDown were better than tonight's on Raw. Yeah, I was definitely not expecting Natalya to win, so Natalya was already out of the picture for me, unfortunately. But I think I was more behind Roxanne Perez winning it than I was Becky. Oh my god, my brother just absolutely made me shit myself because it made me jump by shutting his door. That's like the third time he's done that. Jesus. I was expecting Roxanne Perez to win. Part of me was expecting Becky Lynch to win, but I didn't actually expect Lara Carrier to come out and distract Becky Lynch from winning and having a brawl with Becky Lynch. That I wasn't expecting, because I genuinely thought that Lara was injured. So I wasn't expecting that. But yeah, I also was like, a part of me was like, maybe Becky Lynch might win this, because it'll be cool to have like Alexa and Becky in a Money in the Bank match together. But I was like, nah, they're definitely going to give this to Roxanne Perez, and that's exactly what happened. Roxanne Perez picked up the win in this triple threat and has qualified for the women's side of the Money in the Bank ladder match in 2 weeks Saturday. And so far, Alexa Bliss and Roxanne Perez, part of this 6-woman Money in the Bank match, is like incredible. Like, already, like, this Money in the Bank is looking very, very good and very, very promising already. But what I also wanted to talk about that happened in this match that I didn't clock when I was watching it, but a TikToker who obviously talks about wrestling, she noticed that Lara Carrier was about to drag like Becky Lynch like up the ramp to like kind of, I think she was going to like chuck her up the ramp, but as she like went to chuck her up the ramp, Becky just flinged herself onto the barricade where the fans were, which is not what was meant to happen by the looks of it. Like it's like it was pretty much saying that, like Becky was saying, oh, I'm tired, I don't want to go back up to the ring, I'm just gonna like flop here instead, so I don't have to go all the way back up to the ring, because that's what it kind of looked like. It kind of looked like she just couldn't be asked to be flung up to the top of the ring, so she just, well, near the ring, so she just flung herself onto the barricade. So it looked really stupid because Lara was obviously looking like this way, like forward, and was about to fling her, but then instead of flinging forward, Becky just went like this. So it looked really stupid, but yeah, I don't know what happened there. I don't know if that was, I don't know if Lara was supposed to put her into the barricade, but thought that she completely got it wrong and was going to fling her up to the ring, or Becky was just like, yeah, I can't be arsed going all the way up to the top of the ramp, so I'm just going to do it here instead. But yeah, no, it was really weird. And then we got, well, I'm not going to really talk much about the match itself between Sheamus and Waller, but it was a very decent one-on-one match. Grayson Waller is very underrated in the ring. I feel like he's actually quite a good wrestler. As much as I can't really get behind his character as much as I would like to, I do feel that he is underrated in the ring. That going blue is really annoying me. I don't know why it's happening. I really don't know. I don't know if it's because of out of frame that it's, you know what it is? I think it's because obviously my curtains aren't fully open, so when I'm leaning back, it's obviously darker than when I'm leaning forward because there's a slight gap in the curtains there to let brightness in, so the quality is not as bad. I think that's what it is. I keep getting distracted by it because it's just really weird how I look like I'm like under sea. Under sea? What? I look like I'm in a swimming pool, and then I come out of the swimming pool and I'm on the beach. That's what it's literally looking like. So I'm not to like lean like this. Anyways, the match itself between Sheamus and Waller was really incredible. Like I've said, I feel like Waller is very unappreciated in the ring. But the main reason I wanted to talk about it is because Austin Theory got cheered. Like his name was cheered throughout this match, which is a good sign because hopefully they start giving Austin Theory some actual decent matches and move him and Grayson Waller away from the tag division, because they're not a tag team. I don't know why they're a tag team, because they don't ever have tag team matches. Oh my god, the majority of the time they have singles matches, so I don't even know why they're a tag team. I don't understand it at all. But yeah, anyways, that's the only reason I wanted to talk about that. And then this is what I wanted to talk about that I was kind of talking about earlier, and that was the match that was supposed to be a triple threat between Rhea Ripley, Kairi Sane, and Zoe Stark, but unfortunately, not even that long into the match, like 5 minutes into the match, probably even less than that, Zoe Stark got injured. She was going for what's it called? Sniper something. Can't remember what it's called. Something sniper missile or something like that. Missile drop. I think it's missile drop or something anyway, something along those lines. And Zoe either went too early, because I don't know if a lot of people noticed this, but when Zoe jumped, she shouted "Kyrie!" like really loudly at the top of her lungs, because I think she knew she went too early. So Kyrie was like here, and then she jumped, but because she jumped way too early, Kyrie couldn't get to her quick enough. So it was either that, or the other option is that Kyrie completely missed her cue and was further away than she was meant to be, that it messed up the move for Zoe, that she got injured, so that's why she shouted her name. So it's either Zoe went too early, and so it was kind of more Zoe's fault, or Kyrie missed her cue to be more closer to Zoe, that's why she shouted her name, and because Kairi didn't go closer to Zoe Stark to help her with the move so that she didn't get injured, that it was more Kairi's fault. So I'm not too sure. But anyways, whether it was both their faults or one of the faults more, Zoe's fault more, or Kairi Sane's fault more. Unfortunately, Zoe did sustain a very horrific injury in that triple threat match and completely blew out her knee. Like, you literally see her knee like bent like that and then hit the mat. It was awful, awful. And yeah, she was screaming. Kairi went over to see if she was okay, and then she was carried out by the doctors to the back, back to the back to Gorilla, to obviously see the medical team. So one of the reasons, like I said earlier in this review, the reasons why I have given it a high 4 is because Kairi and Rhea had to completely change the match, because obviously it was supposed to be a triple threat, so there were supposed to be spots in the match between Zoe and Kairi, and Zoe and Rhea, and Zoe, Kairi, and Rhea. So the fact that Zoe got injured literally like 4 or 5 minutes into the match, they completely had to take everything that was supposed to be between Zoe and Rhea, Zoe and Kairi, and all 3 of them out of that match, because obviously Zoe wasn't a part of it no more because she unfortunately completely blew out her knee. So the fact that Rhea and Kairi, because Rio and Io have been having them feud for the past like months. So used to saying Io Sky. Rhea and Kairi Sane, had to do the match on the fly pretty much, because they had to completely get rid of everything, all the spots it was supposed to be with Zoe, so they had to just do a one-on-one match, and I presume they just did all the spots that they were supposed to do with one another, so that's why the match was really short. But Rhea did qualify and is a part of the women's Money in the Bank match in a couple of weeks, and it is her first ever Money in the Bank match, which is actually quite insane that she's never been in a Money in the Bank match since she's joined WWE, which is actually quite crazy to me. Yeah, that is quite insane. But it's been very interesting to see Rhea in a Money in the Bank match, because she's not a high flyer, she's a brawler. So it is going to be very interesting to... made me jump again. It's going to be very interesting to see her in a Money in the Bank stipulation type match. But no, yeah, this Money in the Bank women's side is cooking. Like, we've got Alexa Bliss, Roxanne Perez, and Rhea Ripley so far. Like, absolutely amazing. We didn't get no confirmation on the matches that are happening next week, which is a bit weird, because we did for SmackDown. SmackDown told us that we're having 2 matches, one for the men's side and one for the women's side on Friday Night SmackDown this Friday, but for Monday Night Raw we didn't get any confirmation on qualifying matches. We just got told that qualifying matches are happening next week, and that was it. So that's going to be very interesting to see who the qualifying matches are going to be with. I think they didn't tell us because obviously Punk, Seth, Braun, and Sammy and Logan are part of, and Jay, if Jay loses, I guess, are part of this Saturday Night main event, and I didn't want to spoil that CM Punk's going to be part of a triple threat for the Money in the Bank, or they didn't want to spoil that Sammy's going to be a part of the triple threat for Money in the Bank, or Seth or Braun, or Jay or Logan, or whoever loses, of course, this Saturday between Jay and Logan will be part of the Money in the Bank. So I think that's why they didn't tell us who's going to be a part of it. But they could have told us the women match that was going to be on next week, but they didn't tell us anything. So very interesting to see what qualifying matches we get next week. And then we got a segment between Judgment Day and Roxanne Perez. We have, for the past couple of weeks, been seeing Roxanne talking to Finn Balor, and then this week on Raw, Roxanne officially joined Judgment Day, not as a Judgment Day member, but as more backup for the women's side of things, because obviously when Liv and Raquel are in matches together, there's no one to help Liv and Raquel win. When they're in single matches, there's only Raquel or only Liv to have each other's back. So they've added another woman into the Judgment Day, but not as an official member. Well, I think she is, but to help the women's side of things. So Roxanne is kind of a part of the Judgment Day, but not. But yeah, no, that's very cool to see Roxanne getting this big storyline already in the WWE. So very happy for her, and I hope that it goes well and we get a good storyline between the Judgment Day and Roxanne Perez, because Rhea and Damien's Judgment Day storyline with Liv, Dom and Finn and Carlito and JD was good at the beginning, with the backstage promo that Finn Balor and all that did, where they all like joined together, but other than that it went downhill. So I'm hoping we get a better storyline this time. And then we had the main event of the night between Jey Uso and Bron Breakker. I felt the match was a very high decent. I didn't believe it to be as brutal as they were making it out to be throughout the night. It kind of was just a one-on-one match between Bron Breakker and Jey Uso. There wasn't as much brutality as I thought there was going to be, considering that Seth said that Jay's going to be absolutely destroyed and it's going to be easy pickings for Logan Paul at Saturday Night Main Event. I don't believe that really happened. I mean, we got some brutal spots with the announce table, but other than that, I don't really recall anything like brutal happening as I've said multiple times, as they were making it out that was going to happen. But then I think, Seth got involved and it caused a disqualification. So Jey Uso won by disqualification. And then Bron and Seth were obviously beating down Jey Uso, and then Sami Zayn's music hit. Sami, Bron and Seth started brawling, and then I actually wasn't expecting CM Punk to be here, because normally he posts something on his Instagram when he's at Raw, but he didn't post anything. So I kind of wasn't expecting CM Punk to be here, but then I was a bit like, it's going to be a bit annoying if he's not here, because obviously they need to build up the storyline between Punk and Sami and Seth and Bron. But obviously Punk was here, his music hit, and then once the music stopped, the crowd was singing CM Punk's music after the music had stopped. That was absolutely incredible. Before I speak about obviously the whole situation with Punk and Sami and Seth and Bron and what else happened, this crowd get massive thumbs up. Like, this was the best American crowd I have listened to and heard on WWE, heard in WWE in a long time. Like, massive thumbs up to, I know was it Greensville or Greensboro? I feel like it was Greensboro actually, North Carolina, not Greensville. I'm trying to think which one it was now. Anyways, it was in North Carolina, and the crowd was absolutely incredible from start to finish. They were loud for all the matches. They were cheering for people. They sang CM Punk's song. They were just so incredible, that whole Raw, and I hope that they go there even more now, because that crowd was just so good. But anyways, we had a brawl between Sami, Punk and Seth and Bron. It then ended in the crowd of Seth and Punk brawling, Jay and Bron Breakker brawling, not Jay and Bron Breakker, sorry, Sami and Bron Breakker brawling, and it wasn't a very long brawl. I was expecting a little bit longer of a brawl, but it wasn't very long. It was literally about 3 minutes, if that. But I guess it was a good way to end this Monday Night Raw going into their feud at Saturday Night Main Event, because as much as they need a good storyline going into Saturday Night Main Event, at the same time, the fact that these four that are having a tag team, I don't feel like they need to have a massive storyline, because we're getting these absolute like legendary wrestlers as a tag team with one another at a Saturday Night Main Event. So at the same time, I don't feel like they need that big of a build up, because the match itself is just a build up that we needed. So I'm not like gutted and disappointed that we didn't get much storyline between the four of them, because we have had that for like weeks on end, especially when it comes to Seth and CM Punk. So I'm not that gutted that we didn't get much on last night's Raw. But the show ended with Logan Paul again knocking out Jey Uso to stand tall, which means that he is definitely losing. Sorry, not winning, losing, because as we've seen in the past, Randy Orton stood tall multiple times, lost. Cody Rhodes stood tall multiple times, lost. So it's not a good thing when you stand tall 3 or 4 times in a row. So Logan Paul is definitely losing this Saturday, but it was a nice way to end the Raw. And like I've said overall, like I said at the beginning, sorry, what the hell? Sorry, what the fuck was that? I have given this a thumbs up and a decent, because a lot of it was decent, but we did have some good moments. But yeah, guys, that is the end of the Raw review, and that's everything that I wanted to speak about on today's review. Let me know in the comment section down below what was your favourite part of this week's Raw, and do you agree with me? Do you also believe that it was a 4 out of 5 Raw, or do you believe it was a 5 out of 5 Raw, or a 3 out of 5 Raw, or 2 out of 5 Raw, or 1 out of 5 Raw? Definitely let me know in the comment section down below what your ratings are of this week's Raw, and I think the next video that comes out will be the Saturday night prediction video. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it will be. And then it will be on Saturday, it'll be obviously the SmackDown review, and then Sunday I have a figure haul coming out and an unboxing as well, because I unboxed 3 figures in that video as well. So look forward to all those 3 videos that are coming out this week. I do have some other videos that I'm going to be filming at some point as well, but I'm not going to get into them now, because I did get into those videos that I'm going to be filming over the next couple of weeks in the figure haul. So listen out to hear what video ideas I have coming out in the next couple of weeks. And anyways, guys, this has been my Raw review, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.